A beautiful American vehicle like the Ford F-150 makes a strong visual impression, alone with its dimensions. At 5.9 meters in length, it is the exotic one in inner cities between small cars and compacts. The hip urbanite sometimes longs for peace and quiet and wants to get away from the noisy everyday life. And a practical off-roader like this with plenty of space is the perfect thing. Loading here is very easy. Simply everything up onto the loading area and away it goes. Even if a beefy V8 doesn't rumble under the hood, the 3.5-liter V6 delivers a really rich sound. Even with Americans, the trends to downsize has arrived. The eco-friendly EcoBoost engine used by the manufacturer uses on average only 13 liters per 100 kilometers. In practice, however, things are different. About 16 liters are the norm. The 3.5-liter engine laid out for torque really puts you in a good mood. The 6-speed automatic transmission operates without a glitch, so that you can comfortably cruise on the highway or even accelerate away quickly. Despite a curb weight of more than 2 tons, with 365 horsepower and 570 newton-meters of torque, the car pushes promptly forward. For those whom the V6 EcoBoost sounds like doing without, they can order the F-150 with a classic V8. But a huge displacement is no longer available. The 6.2-liter was discontinued with the last generation, and now you have to make do with a 5-liter V8. But the Eco aggregate doesn't have much more power than the 8-cylinder, however. Top engine only delivers 20 horsepower more and even has 525 newton-meters of torque less pressure than the turbocharged V6.
I gotta go.
In 2014, the Americans wanted to prove in the test that the wannabe Eco engine was by no means boring, and so they assigned the F-150 with EcoBoost engine as a pace car at the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. NASCAR driver Brad Keselowski drove a few laps at the Michigan International Speedway before the pickup was allowed to lead the field. The F-Series Ford has been around since 1948, and the model has already rolled off production lines more than 34 million times. And the F-150 has been the best-selling car in the US for more than 30 years. This pickup is particularly popular because of the many model types: double cabin, single cabin, large or small cargo area. The range of engines and equipment is also large, and the Americans especially love the high towing capacity, for example, to transport trailers or boats. Whether as everyday vehicle or simply to have fun with off-road, the rugged 4-wheel drive is suitable for any application. For fans of the fast-terrain vehicle, there is the F-150 Raptor. This is an extraordinary amount of power and is already factory-fitted with a number of extras for extreme off-road use, such as reinforced frame and an improved suspension travel. The latest version of the pickup racing machine has been unveiled and will be launched on the American market in 2016. All F-150 models are manufactured in Dearborn, Michigan near Detroit and at the Kansas City plant in Missouri, which is amongst one of the largest production facilities for vehicles in the United States. Nearly 500,000 cars run off the production line here annually. Before the pickups come onto the road, the prototypes are subject to extreme robustness tests. The current F-150 model has an aluminum body and lead frame made of lightweight, high-strength steel. This car is 320 kilograms lighter than its predecessor. To test the durability of the materials, the vehicles were driven in numerous salt baths and exposed for days on end in special high humidity chambers. And in addition, the prototype had to drive over quite a few kilometers on moguls to test engine and transmission suspension. The F-150 also had to prove its skill as a workhorse in one of the largest gold mines in the USA, in the mountains of Nevada, where workers put the prototype through its paces. But a workhorse should also look good and with it reach maximum efficiency. That is why the designers worked incredibly hard on the newest model.
We have a 25-mile-an-hour breeze blowing over the truck, so you can see how the wind cuts through the corner. Right in here, there's a channel that actually channels air from the front of the truck into the wheel well, letting it exit the side of the truck cleanly. We spent a lot of time on the front corner of the truck, finding the perfect balance of this corner. Intuitively, you might think that the corner of the truck needs to be pushed back to be more aerodynamic, but that's not necessarily true. We actually had to find the perfect balance in this corner by pulling it out and getting the shape just right. You'll notice on the windshield, there's no molding along the edge of the windshield. This allows the wind to slip cleanly over the A-pillar and exit the side of the truck, again adding to the overall efficiency of the F-150. The tailgate is much wider than the outgoing truck. This allows the wind to come across the top of the cab and touch down here, breaking off the back of the truck cleanly with less turbulence and less drag, making the truck overall more efficient.
In the meantime, the 13th generation of the Ford F-150 has been launched. 4 engines and 6 models to choose from. The Limited is the highest and most expensive equipment line. Lots of chrome, leather, wood, and a panorama glass roof are of course standard. Our Platinum Edition test car absolutely does not need to hide itself. It doesn't quite have as much chrome on the grille, and there are fewer standard assistance systems than in the top model version, but the standard is pretty high overall for an American workhorse. A luxurious pickup is certainly not mandatory for a trip to the forest, but very comfortable. The load area is 1.7 meters long. For a couple of camping utensils, more than adequate. But those for whom that is not enough, however, can order the 2-meter long variant. The payload is decent at just under 1 ton. The Platinum Edition is the second highest model line and is quite noble. One can recognize it outside from the special radiator grille in 3-spoke design. Chrome elements on the bumper, tailgate and door mirrors are standard. Likewise, LED lamps front and rear. The pickup is available as standard on 20-inch alloy wheels. Only the brake system could be somewhat more substantial for its weight and performance. Deployable running boards facilitate easy entry. The flap of the loading area can be opened by remote control. Inside, there's plenty of leather and wood elements. 2-zone climate control and heated leather steering wheel are standard. In the cockpit, a huge display which the driver can program with key data according to his wishes. An infotainment system with touchscreen is also standard. Bigger, better F-150. Onto the center armrest, there's space for an entire bag. The Platinum model is only available as Super Crew Cab version. That is, with double cab and 4 doors. There's plenty of space here. There's room for 5 people. If one is not looking for peace and seclusion and may be traveling with a larger group. The least expensive Ford F-150 with double cab costs about $26,300 in America, and that converts to almost 23,200 euros. However, this is without VAT. This is additional and is different in the US depending on which state. With the Noble Platinum version, one has to shell out more than $52,000, which is nearly 46,000 euros. In nature, one finds a necessary balance for the noisy metropole, and those hardened people, even overnight, in a hanging tent. You can best enjoy the spirit of adventure off-road. The Ford F-150 is available as a rear-wheel drive or optional as all-wheel drive. You can switch to 4-wheel drive with a control knob, so you can have a lot of fun off-road. For severe off-road usage, there's even a reduction, and via the notification in the display, one can see power flow, swivel, and tilt angle at a glance. An electronic locking rear differential is on board in order to always ensure the best possible grip in all situations. The off-road values of the Ford F-150 can be quite impressive. It performs better than comparable American pickups such as the Dodge Ram or Chevy Silverado. Unfortunately, Ford does not sell the huge pickup in Europe, and those who want to have one have to rely on importers. There, one will easily cost 60,000 euros. With the Ford F-150, one has a practical vehicle with lots of space, but at the same time, one does not have to sacrifice any comfort and luxury. Those interested in the American drive style and with no fear of driving this huge pickup, even in narrow city centers, for those, the F-150